All right, we've managed to establish that connection with Prof Dirk Kotzé, giving us more analysis, of course, on the DA's announcement that Helen Zille is the party's Joburg Mayoral Candidate. Prof, I hope you can hear me this time around. Certainly no surprise, as I was saying to our earlier guest, about who the DA was going to put in the ring for the mayorship of Johannesburg.
Yes, that is indeed so. They have a name was already for quite some time in the pipeline, so it's not a surprise, but has been announced today. And I think what is very clear is that this is the big prize for the DA. They want to get the position of mayor in Johannesburg back since Mpomalatsi's times, and that they are the ones that want to use again, like in previous years, to use local government and the management of metros as the basis also for their campaigns at provincial and national level in 2029. So I think that the approach of the DA is very clear. It's very clear now that they want to start with Johannesburg in order to prepare also for a longer-term campaign, as I said, up to 2029.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of her experience, she is a very experienced a politician. You know, some would argue she knows what to do in order to woo, you know, the residents of Johannesburg in her favor. Some of the words that she used in her speech today do speak about, you know, in brief about what she plans to start with, you know, given this chance.
Yes, that is so. I think she has to a large extent spelled out already what will become the election manifesto of them next year. It sets also the agenda for the other political parties. And I think this is what is not new. Most people understand what are the issues for the residents of Johannesburg, and that's the basic service delivery matters. On top of that will later come the issues about economic development and job creation and housing and so on. But it's now the most urgent matters that she identified today. And I think this is for the other political parties now to see how they can respond to that. Not only in terms of who their candidates will be, but also what will be their agenda in terms of governance. When it comes to the candidates, I think it's a challenge for the other parties in Johannesburg specifically to put up candidates that are sort of equal stature in terms of that they are national figures and not only local persons from Johannesburg.
You know, Prof, this is certainly going to be a talking point, and I did say to our previous guest, you know, the sentiments that were shared by the ANC president at the meeting that took place with councillors, where he spoke about the performance of the Democratic Alliance in the municipalities, you know, that it has a hold of. There was a lot of criticism about what he said on the podium while addressing those councillors, but he seemed to sort of want to clarify what he said in an interview with SABC political editor Mzwandile Mbeche, where he spoke about the Democratic Alliance being good on compliance and basically being bad on transformation, and that they could basically learn, or councillors should be able or can learn from each other. Let's take a listen to what the ANC president said when he spoke to our political editor Mzwandile Mbeche, and I'll ask you about whether what he said the second time around would be enough if we weigh out what he said the first time around. Let's take a listen to what he said to our political editor here at the SABC in his clarification.
Clean audits does not mean the best governance. It's a compliance issue. There are quite a number of ANC-run municipalities that have clean audits. Now, we need to look at this issue in a comprehensive way or in a broader context. There's the compliance issue and there's the transformative issue. Now, when, and I know that many people in the DA got very excited and said, yeah, the president said this. And from a compliance point of view, a number of them are, but from a transformation point of view, they are not really meeting the mark. And a number of ANC municipalities meet the mark. For instance, if you were to talk to our people in Philippi, in Delft, in Kayamandi, in Langa, they will tell you that those clean audits are not resulting in the transformation of their lives where they live, because there are enormous challenges. And this is where, say, DA municipalities must learn a lot from the ANC municipalities. It was Oliver Reginald Tambo who said, it does not mean that those who you are opposed to do not sometimes do right things. You must learn from them, because they must also learn from you. They should also come to where the ANC has led real transformation.
Prof, I'm hoping you heard those sentiments shared by the ANC president. This was, of course, in an interview after he had spoken to or addressed the ANC councillors. Is this enough to perhaps convince those that had been upset in his political party about what he said? He says, in fact, what he meant was that the DA is good on compliance, but when it comes to transformation, it's another story altogether. Is that some sort of damage control?
Well, it's clearly meant to be that of damage control. I don't know how many people have seen this. The first message of him is the one, I think, that went through the whole country. And we know politics is sometimes very much about voice clips, about sort of short messages. And I think that's still the one which is the prominent one. President Ramaphosa, to a large extent, is correct in what he's saying, that there are different components of what the agendas or the responsibilities of local governments are. And that's what I mentioned also earlier on. But I think if one asks the residents of, let's say, Johannesburg or most other local authorities in the country, what is at the moment their most pressing issue, then it is service delivery. And then it is not about promises or about the larger components of development. It is about their daily lives on a daily basis. And I think that is going to be the test for all the political parties. How can they address and convince the voters ultimately which one of them have the best track record when it comes to governance and service delivery, water, electricity, potholes, and dry taps and so on, versus the other issues that will come in a sense on top of this. But I think at the moment the focus is on the basic issues.
Prof, we really do appreciate your time here on the program. Thank you very much for taking time out of your Saturday to, of course, opine or give us some analysis on this breaking news story. In case you've just joined us, that breaking news story, of course, the Democratic Alliance fielding Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg in the run-up, of course, to the 2026 local government elections.